Well, hello and welcome to the Daily Atheist Morning Show. I'm your host, Amazing Super Chris. Thank you for joining me, Chris Mallard. For those of you who don't know, I hope you had a wonderful weekend. I hope you got lots and lots of sinning and blaspheming done and all that business, because we got to take care of the atheist business first. But there was also the left-wing liberal nutbag business we have to take care of, and that was the No Kings protest. Now, things went down. Some good things happened, some wonderful things happened, some fascinating things happened, some bad, ugly things happen. Some things happen and you wouldn't be surprised. You're like, not surprised. Not surprised. Sad, not surprised. We'll talk about it. We'll do the thing at the place with the stuff for the people. Ryan is here. She's going to talk with us here in a bit about it too. And we're going to do the thing. I want to remind you, my friends, that next, 3 weeks from now, 3 weeks-ish, I'm going to be in Williamston, Kentucky as the MC of the Ark Encounter protest, protesting the Ark Encounter taking funds from the government, that sort of business. Going to be there doing the thing with lots of other wonderful people, so don't miss it. Here's a little commercial. Already. All right, and we are back. I was like, that's a long minute and 7 there. We are back. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. Here's my lovely co-host, Rion, Cultastic. How are you doing, Ryan?
Oh, living the dream, the American dream.
Living the American dream. Did you have a good weekend?
It was a pretty chill weekend, non-eventful.
Yes. As I can imagine. Pickles what?
I was on pickle duty.
Oh, that's right. I saw some pickle videos. You made some great pickle video. Pickles is going to be a star.
I hope so.
What I want to know is, when Pickles becomes a star, is she going to still talk to us?
Well, she doesn't seem like the uppity type, but you never know. Money changes people.
Money, it does change people. And that's why, I realize that, and that's why I just want to say now that when I do get money, I won't talk to any of you people anymore. You'll never see my fat ass again.
Just a full warning.
Yes, I'm just saying. So good morning. Good morning to you. Let me say good morning to everyone out there. Lisa for Truth was in the chat early. Obi Atheist was there. Ian Davenport. Yeah, it's good to see you. It's been a day or 3. I know, guys, this light up here is unfortunate, and it's bugging me, and I will fix it, I promise. John Hudson is here causing problems, doing the thing. Neuro Geezer. Good morning, Neuro Geezer. Scott Duke is here. Thank you for joining us, Scott Duke. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. Trina, good morning. I hope you had a great weekend. Stayed safe. Did all kinds of heathenistic things. Yes, Chris Wilson is here. That's awesome. Chris Wilson. Is that like a football player? I don't know.
Good American name.
That's a good American name right there. Strong American name.
Yep.
Good morning, Captain Dadpool. Man, it's been a day or since I've seen you. Hope you're doing all right, Ricky. Staying out of trouble. Well, we know better.
Doubtful.
Satan was lying through me. I could feel it.
He was his mouthpiece.
Yes, good afternoon, Michael Wolf. The parade was so tiny. It was very tiny. How tiny? So tiny. I couldn't see it from across the pond. Yeah. Nancy's here. Nancy, you and Patty are just so fantastical and wonderful. Hugs. Trina is here. Work. All you do is work. I should be a millionaire by now. I know, right? They say that, of course, that's the whole deal. I think billionaires should give all their money away to the rest of us because they're such hard workers. They'll just quickly earn it all back. Obviously.
Right. Since that's how they got it.
Yes. Nancy says, love that hair, Ryan. Beautiful.
Thank you.
It's very awesome. I actually have a hairstylist with me this morning.
Ooh.
I know. The evil one is home today. She styled my hair. I was in there crying in the bathroom. You know, she's like, damn it, stop doing that. I'm like, oh, stop.
It looks good.
Raven Lunatic is here. So we all need to shut Chris up. All we need to do to shut Chris up is send money.
I don't know if that'll work, to be fair, Raven.
No, that's true. That's the question, isn't? I mean, if I suddenly became wealthy, I would still be compelled to say things. That's why I started the channel, not necessarily because I thought it was going to make me rich or ever make a living out of it, but I was just compelled to get this shit off my chest that I saw going on crazy in the world.
Oh, Lord.
Thank you all. Philip Lister is here. My local municipality could have put on a better parade. They do every year. Interesting. Simply Secular Dave here. Don't miss Dave Con. Don't Dave Con. That's true. Nancy says, thanks, Scotty. We love getting to know Ryan better. We feels like she's a long lost sister.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, you know,
everyone who showed up at the stream, I appreciate y'all.
That's wonderful. There is a kinship, I feel, among, I want to say, ex-cultists. Oh, that's right. Somebody sent me a question asking if I would be willing to host some kind of thing, post a cult thing. You may have gotten an email about it as well. Somebody was talking to us about hosting. Yeah, right.
I need to check busy people. Never do. Sorry.
It's something apostate. I know your name. Anyway, the question was if I'd be willing to host this ex-cult member thing or have it on my channel or some business. I absolutely do not mind promoting or even hosting a live stream on there, but it needs to be clear and upfront. I am not an ex-cult member, not by y'all standards, what y'all think of as an ex-cult member. I'm not one of those. I was a light Christian who fell away early. You know, I wasn't abused in the name of any religion or any of that business. The religion never hurt me like it hurt a lot of people. So I was invited to be part of that as an ex-cult member, but I am not necessarily, as you would know, an ex-cult member.
Well, Chris, we've all been harmed. Just maybe you not as much as others.
That's true.
Seriously, right? Because it creates a lot of toxic masculinity, which is not good for the development of men either, you know? I mean, I think you're the least of the victims, but you're still a victim. And goddamn, if we could fix it, we'd fix a lot of things.
That's a good point. There were a lot of things, even as despite whatever advantage a person you may think I have, as a youth, I often did the same fears that everybody else had. I'm going to sin, or there's some ball I'm going to drop. So no matter how well you carry that wonderful, glorious ball of God in your hand, at some point you may drop it. 10 years from now, you've worked so hard and you drop the ball and you're going to hell. Or maybe 5 years ago, you dropped the ball and you haven't made the proper amends and you're going to hell no matter what until you finally figure that out. And you never figure it out, so you're going to. That used to scare me, those kinds of logical, you know.
I think it creates for me, I don't know if it's OCD, you know, I really don't know yet, but it creates those loops of things that you say to yourself in your head, you know, over and over that are just negative talk. And I think a lot of it does sprout from the verbiage we get from the Bible.
Raven Lunatic says, I thought it said no kinks, so I refrained from unusual activities.
Well, you know, I think Trump, considering he's friends with Epstein, probably has a lot of kinks. So
he probably does. No kinks, no kinky kinks.
That's so I think it still works.
It still applies. Thank you, Ian Davenport, for the $10 super sticker that says thank you very much. Appreciate that, man. You guys are wonderful. We appreciate all your support. Ollie even says thank you for the support. I'm sure you can hear that. Deviant Outcast is here. Good morning, Deviant Outcast. I want to mention, I get a lot of comments in chat, you know, or comments in after the videos or the videos I upload or something. And sometimes I can handle them all, or sometimes I go and I respond to them or some business, but I rarely give them a lot of attention, despite the fact that some of them probably deserve some. And I'm pretty sure it was Deviant Outcast. Somebody said something ignorant in one of my comments. And before I could get there and say anything, Deviant Outcast went in there and just club them like a baby harp seal right there in my thing. And I was like, oh my goodness, do you need burn for that? I mean, there's a lot of words. My AD&D would not allow me to read that many words in one sitting at least. But I could tell there was some serious burnage going on there. Thank you to any of you who engage with the trolls in the comments of my videos. I very much appreciate your help in setting these. Oh, Digital Hammurabi. Is it Dr. Josh? Oh, is it Doc? It is.
Assuming.
I see. I think it's time for atheists to admit they never believed in God, but that there are no real atheists. Because everyone believes in God, you just suppress the truth in unrighteousness. Yeah, I think maybe you're right. I feel it. I feel now compelled. Joe Pesci is now speaking through me. We have two youths. You should convert to Joe Pesci and take him on as your God. Wrong God? I'm sorry. Good morning, Digital Hammurabi. Thank you. If you guys are not aware, go subscribe to Digital Hammurabi. Rational Poet.
How are you not aware?
The power of crap compels them. That's true. Save the whales. Yes. Deviant outcasts a lot of words. We know I'm actually going to get me some AD&D medicine. I keep calling it AD&D medicine, but I only do it on the stream. Because I mean, I've literally learned if it's more than just like a sentence or two, I'm gone. I'm like, oh, hey, that's really cool. Oh, look over there. I have to sit and make myself.
That's me.
Wrong Pesci. Joey the fish. You know, Joey the fish, Joe Pesci. Lucky Charms aren't the same since they went psychedelic. Good morning, really. Thank you for joining us. And they skimp on the charms. They do.
That sounds magically delicious if you ask me.
Nancy, you're not supposed to tell things like that out loud. She admitted it for everybody that we just want to sin. That's something I don't really understand. Is that, as a true atheist, I don't actually believe in sinning. I just like live my life. And the only person who frowns on what I do is me and society. So you technically have to be a theist in order to sin. So if you just want to sin, you'd still be a Christian doing bad things. There's a lot of them out there. The numbers are staggering. Good morning. Thank you for joining us. Neuro Geezer, it's time for atheists to admit they've never believed in God. Very true. Somebody on my thing says, some more people showed up for my little cousin's birthday party than Trump's.
Oh.
It was a comment that just came through on one of my videos.
That's funny.
We do have some interesting things to talk about. I predicted, I know, I'm just as excited as you are. I predicted that Trump would use the opportunity. I figured there was going to be so many people show up in D.C. It's going to be crazy. And it was all going to be protesting Trump. And it was going to be just pandemonium. It's a large word. Craziness all over the place. And I was mistaken. I know. It doesn't happen very often. The wife reminds me of every single time.
The evil one. She's
right,
gotta get you every once in a while.
That's right. So, but I was mistaken. So I actually created a video showing that I was wrong. I'm going to share it with you people today. This video, I don't know if you've seen it or not. I'm going to play this video on Elle's screen here. I'll share it with you in just a moment. So, have you seen it?
I've seen a few. I've seen a lot. I swear to God, I watched so much freaking news this week, and I'm tired.
I made one of those I was wrong posts because I predicted Trump was going to try to go crazy and do stuff. Just watch. We're going to do this. I'm going to play this for everybody. Okay. I was wrong. The people of America, the reasonable, non-traitorous, non-MAGA people of America, fooled me. They pulled the wool right over my eyes. Now, I knew people were going to turn out for the No Kings protest, but I figured the biggest protest was going to be in D.C. I was so very wrong. I made a video about it. You can find it over here. I thought people were going to show up in such huge numbers that his parade would be stymied or even called off altogether. I even suggested he might use a combined unrest across the country and what was going to, I thought, happen in D.C., to declare martial law. I was wrong. I am metaphorically eating crow. Crows are very cool and intelligent creatures. I don't recommend eating them. But otherwise, eating my hat, as it were. People did turn out by the millions across the country, but it was a total snooze fest in D.C. Rather than getting the chance to watch his goons pound protesters live for his birthday, Trump sat sad-faced watching as a crowd that would barely strain the local bowling alley turned out for him and his tiny dictator parade. I'd like to think that the millions turning out against him and the few turning out for him might show him how outnumbered he and his little fascist regime are, although I doubt it. Anyway, so that was my mea culpa. I was both wrong and pleasantly surprised. Well played, decent, patriotic Americans who haven't betrayed the nation to an orange god of lies. Okay, so there's that. Let me get that off of the screen. So I was wrong, and it was good that I was wrong.
I mean, I'm glad. That would be my preference, is you were wrong.
According to, Scott Duke says he's going crazy now, calling for ICE to invade democratic power centers. I saw that in the news recently, this morning or last night, that he's telling ICE to focus on democratic states and stuff like that. Democratic cities. Intentionally, this is political war. He's Oh yeah, no doubt.
We knew he was going to start federalizing ICE. It was just a matter of time, because as we've said, we know he hired people from these white nationalist groups. Who else would want these jobs but somebody who is America first?
Oh, right. True.
So they're happy to follow orders.
They are. Yeah. The worst of orders. In fact, Sumami's here. Does he think that's going to hurt our voter turnout? Because you have to be a citizen to vote. Hey, Sumami, I want to mention that during the video, I was like, I'm eating crow here. I love crows. I don't recommend eating crows. And I put that line in there for you, Sumami, because I knew you and the ravens and the crows and the evil, sinful witch birds. Anyway, very cool birds. Really says it looks like there were more people at my local No Kings event. Probably so. Yeah, and that's part of what the video I was saying in my video is that I think that it may be hopefully a warning sign to Trump that more, so many people turned out. Now, we did talk about millions of people. There's something else I want to show people here. Another video. And it has something to do with the millions of people. Now, are you familiar with the 3.5% protest rule? Have you heard of this?
No.
Me either.
I've not heard of the 3.5%.
That's the way to do it. My ball. I lost my ball. John knows what that feels like. Actually, John's been finding balls. He finds more all the time. Every time we see John, he's found another ball. All right, so the 3.5% protest rule is essentially that whenever 3.5% of the population turn out and protest against the government, they topple them. They'll fall. That government does not last. And we had that much damn ball. It's round. It's not slippery, but it's round.
Who would have thought a ball would be round?
I know, right? Anyway, so the thing is we had at least that many people turn out for the No Kings event. So that's
a lot of people, man.
Right. So will Donald Trump start trying to meet in the middle, maybe, or is he going to continue with his completely far right policies of completely far right and fuck everybody else? Just kind of curious how that's going to go. For Benito, and we ran out together and reunited them. I was so happy. Oh, I missed something. Guess what, y'all? I found lost doggos yesterday. Lost doggos. Oh, that's awesome. You found them. I asked around, and a neighbor said she thinks she recognized him, and his name was Benito. Couldn't find his house. Later, I heard a kid outside calling his name. That's awesome. Yay. The dogs are doing dog things. I don't know if y'all can hear them barking. Can you hear them barking?
I can hear them.
Sometimes you can hear the production team as they work in the background to make the magic happen. It just happens. You've been watching like The Line or something. Every now and then you'll hear a producer tell the hosts on the stream, hey man, there's
I got to pipe in every once in a while.
That's right. That's right. My producers will tell me that there's somebody at the door. A leaf blew by the door. Those things that somebody want to know. Squirrel. That's right. That's right. Lisa for Truth, did they think Americans would roll over? Probably so. Now, here's the deal. I don't know if they thought Americans would roll over, but I thought Americans, even if they rose up, wouldn't have a chance because of all the things Donald Trump has done. I think protest all they want. Who cares? It's not going to change anything.
All they want.
You know? Yeah, it won't. I mean, unless something happens. I mean, I don't think it's going to change anything. I don't really know that he sees it as a threat. You know, I could be wrong. I was wrong once. Mark Reed is here. Good evening, Mark Reed. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Man, I tell you, those lottery numbers, people in a future time refuse to share lottery numbers. It's
rude.
Nancy says, I was so proud of us all over the weekend. Make me hopeful. Me too. Now.
Same, Nancy.
We've talked about that. Let me show you all this video. We got more to talk about because yes, there were good things that happened this week and that I too am very proud of. But there were also some most unfortunate things that happened this week. We'll talk about those here. I got another thing I want to show you though, and this is this video that this individual, I don't know who this person is, Pulse DNA, never saw their video before, found it on the internet, so it must be true. So I'm going to share this video with you. Here. Okay, now can I make it big? I made it big. And now I'm going to make it more big. Mas Grande. Okay, and now I'm going to play the thing. Where's the thing? There it is.
What is the 3.5% rule and how has it helped other nations successfully and peacefully overturn corrupt governments? This is Daily Debunks, June 15th. Some of the most optimistic reports have said that over 11 million protesters showed up to over 2,000 locations for the No Kings protest nationwide. Now, the press says it's more like 3 to 5 million as far as estimates. Why has this 3.5% mark been all the chatter on social media? It is a principle founded by a Harvard scientist. That scientist's name is Erica Chenoweth, and countries reach out to Erica practically daily for suggestions on how they can overthrow authoritarian officials peacefully. Now, this is a trend, not a law. Some governments were able to be overthrown with less participation, some needed more. Some examples of corrupt governments being overthrown by the people was the People Power movement in the Philippines in 1986. And then there was the Rose Revolution in the country of Georgia. That was caused by economic mismanagement, electoral fraud, political corruption. Does this sound familiar? And in 2003, the people successfully overthrew the government through peaceful demonstrations. You might have heard it at this point, but it's not just numbers that matter. It's also strategy, unity, and sustained momentum. So the 3.5% rule is rooted in history. No King's Day may be powerful, but it takes more than numbers for a movement to succeed. What is the 3.5% rule, and how has it helped other nations succeed?
Here.
Good video.
And get right there. All right, so so sometimes people tend to think that the only way to turn over an election or to turn over the political power is through violent revolution, but that's not always the case. It can be done peacefully, and of course that's always the best way to go if possible. Mark says, I saw a video saying there were MAGA dissenters in the crowd with guns in some places. Was that true? Not entirely certain. Can't speak for. However,
I do know.
I did hear about one bystander being killed by a stray bullet whenever a peacekeeper, an armed person there hired to keep the peace at the parade, saw him run over to the side of a building and pull an AR style weapon out of a bag, kind of a bag, carrying bag kind of thing. And they exchanged fire. He shot at that person and missed him and killed a bystander. And then they did hit that guy and they caught him later. Was he an instigator? Was he a right-wing person who's fixing to start unaliving a bunch of people? But thankfully the peacekeepers got there. Unfortunately, they did miss and hit somebody in the crowd that unalived them. What happened there? I've heard of that. I heard of at least one instance, just one though, of a driver driving into a No Kings protest. And of course, I think we've probably all heard of the right-wing ex-priest, ex-pastor, Trump supporter, MAGA person who unalived a senator up in, or a politician. I don't even know what she is. I have had so much going on.
Oh,
I
yes.
don't even know the particular details of that.
I know. I think she's a former House member, but still in the government.
And part of the deal is that the deal up there we have so many different, that was like 2 different attacks. That guy attacked him, killed the husband and wife, the wife being the politician, and then went and tried to do the same thing. And I think both of the other victims survived the attack. These are the things that happened, my understanding, over the weekend. The notion that liberal leftists were going to come out of nowhere and start randomly killing people or doing whatever. The excuse is always, I say always, I often see the excuse of property. Oh, they were setting fires and, breaking windows, and that's illegal and all that business. I'm like, no, and that's part of the deal with Fox News. Fox News needs to answer for that, because of Fox News, we've got one little block in LA that is having some problems and some violence, and they're making it look as though the entire city of LA is incorruptible and on fire because Gavin Newsom has dropped the ball. You know what I mean? And this misleads so many normally reasonable people. And then they just get bombarded with these lies and bombarded with these lies and bombarded with these lies. It's just, oh my goodness.
It's also the framing too. To them, violence is tagging a building or, a window getting damaged. But if a cop beats you with a baton, or they let the horses trample you, or they're spraying you in the fucking face with literal pepper spray and throwing smoke bombs, all the things that they're doing, that's not violence whatsoever.
No. That's political will. You should have been doing what you're supposed to be doing, or else, Yeah. Oh, it just gets old. Father Bob, good morning, Father Bob. Thank you for joining us. Says there was a guy here in St. George, Utah, that brought his AR-15 to our No Kings protest. Did he cause any problems? Because there was one guy we were just talking about a few minutes ago. I don't know if you caught it, but we were talking about one gentleman. I'm using that term in its broadest possible sense.
Right.
Who brought an AR-15 style weapon to a protest, engaged with some peacekeepers who were there to keep the peace, and got caught. He was shot several times. He got caught, but a bystander, was unalived. They were unalived, and yes, all 4 of them, Miss Lisa, did all 4 of them pass away, or was it just the first 2? I thought it was just the first 2 victims were unalived by this right-wing piece of... I'm getting a ding-ding. Occasionally I hear the ding-ding. Sometimes I do. Sometimes Dave says, did I see that news? I did not see that news, Dave. I'll check it out in a minute. She says, dude, it's 1.6 million now. Oh, wow. I'm going to play this video on here. I'm sure, because we don't get things that go viral very often. Jesse Bear has got something that is kind of going viral. I'm going to play this for us real quick.
Oh, yay! Love that.
I know, right? Go, girl! It's your birthday. And then in the chat, Jesse Bear, feel free to catch us up with what's going on here. Let me go here and share. Someday I'll have a production team to take care of all this magic in the background. Be like, hey, producer Steve, would you go ahead and put that on the screen for me? Where is it? Where is it? Ooh, entire screen. Ooh, why not? It wants to be a jerk. I'm going to do the entire screen, and it is over here. All right, so we're going to go screen 1. Sorry, guys, for the trouble. Talk amongst yourselves. Dizzying. Okay, so now I'm going to go. I don't know what the hell I'm doing now. I'm all so confused. I am so confused.
Help me.
Where's Discord? Bring me Discord. Can you see Discord? You cannot see Discord.
No. I don't say Discord. There we go.
Can you see, there we go. All right.
Discord. I see Discord. I don't know about Discord.
Okay, so this is Jesse Bear's video.
Pig. Are they screaming?
Yeah, so somebody was rolling coal down there, and apparently a law officer saw it and might actually go do his job. Not that they all don't, but it's good to see when they do. Stop sharing. I'm not anti-police. I need to be clear about that. That's a complicated.
Oh, I don't like cops. Just so everyone is clear about that.
Right. Well, you know, there are the ACAB. All cops are bastards. I get it totally. You know, here we go. Let me get over here. Man, I got so many screens open. So the suspect wanted in the sleigh. Okay.
That's really cool, Jesse Bear. Was that on TikTok?
Yeah.
It looked like TikTok.
Sorry about that, guys. Y'all didn't hear any sound on it. It was a little problematic. But yeah, Jesse did the thing. Now the alert comes through telling me there was no sound. It was a lot of screaming. There was screaming. There was screaming going on. Yes. Let's see if yeah. It's all right. Yes, but there is a little in there. You know why I pulled you over? Well, I wonder what else we all didn't see. Even if you did see it right from the beginning, I didn't really see what happened. I just saw a cloud of smoke and I heard a noise and heard people cheering whenever the cops went. Right. So was that all he did, or was he being reckless? Was he driving crazy? Was he? I don't know.
I mean, that's reckless. I'm not saying what he did was right. I'm just saying I don't like cops. So that's all.
Oh, no, I got you.
But that like in the middle. I mean, unless you're like a professional driver, like that to me seems a little dangerous. Unless I'm stupid. I don't know.
Yeah. And see, I didn't know, I couldn't tell if they were rolling coal or if they were spinning out, just burning rubber down there.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell. Maybe I should watch it.
I don't know. I saw that streak of black. So,
right. She put the video in Discord. That's true, but it doesn't make it. That's what I shared, and it was hard to. Okay. Gotcha. Let me see. I'll try again. Okay. Oh, here it is. I
think you're like swimming upstream, should I say. And I think that would wear on you to constantly butt heads with people. And likely because a lot of cops have, to some degree, their own little culty kind of cliques. Like if you don't fit in, almost makes it dangerous for you as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Goodness gracious, DV Outcast, lots of words. You did say that was your trademark. You were not lying.
I love how they always put at least they number it so you can find it.
That's awesome. Yeah. Very, very aware of you for doing that. Jesse Bear, he was going in circles around us for about 2 hours off and on. Awesome. Good. I'm going to put it back up there. I got it figured out now, guys. Sorry. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it does nothing work. Here we go. We're going to try this. You should be able to hear it this time.
No, somebody's rolling coal, fucking assholes.
Oh.
So,
He thinks he's big shit, but there's more of us than there are of him.
Oh, I see what's going on now.
Okay, so he was a dissenter of sorts. Yeah, that's really dangerous.
Okay. Okay, so that's not the first video. Cool. Okay, I got you. I'm picking up what you're putting down. Let me go back here real quick and see if I got a link for the second video, the first one. Is that going to do us? Yes, there we go. Let's share this one. Share this tab instead. You know, I have to say that me and this Discord thing are just, I'm gonna never mind. Let me get back to the show. I'm sorry, Jesse Bear. I tried. Discord is a pain in the ass. Sorry for that. Let me go back to here and get all this business off of here. And okay. What the hell, man?
What the hell?
There we go. Okay. Awesome sauce. Ryan, good morning, Giles. Captive Desk. Good morning, Dave. Carrie, Kip Davis is here. Did you guys watch the Squeaky Tank video yet? Let me look up. I gotta look up the Squeaky Tank video.
I was going
is
to duet it. I
wonderful.
still might duet it, even though it's old now. It's just.
Is it the
funny.
Sherman? I heard there was like a Sherman tank, and now Sherman's like an old freaking tank. Let me go squeaky.
Yeah, I don't know because I'm not very.
Tank.
I'm not very well read when it comes to the military. So all I heard was
Gotcha.
and the malicious compliance is what like just sent me. I love the fact that they were marching, but it looked like a bunch of fifth graders marching.
Oh, really? Okay.
Right? It was just like clump, 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 clump. No real rhythm. No in step. I was like, that has got to be like deviant compliance happening in front of our eyes. Like, yeah, I'm here. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, but I'm not going to do it well.
Right, but that's all you're getting out of me.
That's all you're getting out. You're getting the bare minimum.
Let's go here, see if I can find this over here. I really want to see that video. It's just not sticking out. I mean, I'm getting a lot of results back. But
You saw it
Trump's
too, Jesse
military.
Bear? Yeah, I was like, that's definitely not how soldiers march. Something's up with that. Unless they pulled some people off the street and just asked them to get in fatigues and march.
You know, what I did hear was that they actually paid people to come fill seats, or they were advertising to come fill seats.
Allegedly,
And
I heard that too.
the evil one was telling me, I think it was evil one who said that there were people out there like us who were purchasing those seats or claiming they were going to be there to fill that seat, and then it didn't show up.
I love it. I love when people do that.
Let's see here. Tom had fallen. Thank you for $10 super chat. Raven Lunatic. Tom had fallen on hard times. He leaves one day to become a whore. He comes home and tells his wife, I made $200.05. His wife says, who's the cheap bastard who gave you a nickel? Tom replies, oh. Tom was a busy person. Ryan's going to get it in a second. She's after it there. Chris, pull up my live stream from
Sex
Tampa
worker, Raven. Sex worker. That is a
sex worker. Sumami, man,
nickel.
if you'll put a link to a YouTube video, Sumami, I will post it. If it's something you sent to me in Discord, I'll have to figure that out later and make it happen later. It's too distracting for me to end the show to try to go figure all that out right now. But if you can put a link in the chat to what you're talking about, it's super easy, barely an inconvenience, and I'm glad to go to it. Katie, what an excellent page, and how pathetically lifeless the parade crowd was. See, that's what I want to check out, you know. There's just so many video on it when I search for it that it's hard to find, you know. Anyway, the protests were staggering all across the country. I was so proud, you know.
Oh my gosh. It brought a tear to my eye watching videos, like compilations of all the states and cities. I mean, it was.
Gotcha. So, Mommy, that's a half-hour video. You got a specific part you want me to share or something? I'm not going to run the whole video on the show, girl. I know that's not what you mean. Is there something specific, though, you want me to share? There's a link, obviously. Go, everybody, if you want to go check it out. Let me see No King's Protest. But before you even respond, let me do this, just because.
Yeah, the audio makes it, Axel. The audio was just.
Okay, so y'all should be able to hear. I'm just going to skim through here and see what this was. Tampa Bay, Florida. Is that where you are, Tsunami?
Tsunami.
Yeah. No, that's cool. Yeah. No, that's great.
You better subscribe, Mr. Mallard.
Oh. That's awesome. See, this is, oh my goodness, where are the cars on fire? You know? Where
right?
are the buildings being assaulted? Where are the police officers being assaulted?
Right?
You know?
And then when
but occasionally, what's that?
I was just saying, when you ask them about, you know, comparison between what happened on the insurrection day and here, they're like, well, we don't want to, I don't want to drag up the past. I don't want to talk about that.
That was different. Somehow that was different.
Yeah,
how was that different exactly? That was worse, in fact. even if they were going around and breaking into buildings and destroying cars and doing things like that, that's one thing. Assaulting the Capitol to overthrow our democratically elected president is vastly more problematic than some people protesting. And why were the people protesting? Because of the racist and hateful policies of Donald Trump.
Exactly.
Captain Desk, Squeak, Shorky. Oh, thank you. Thank you for the links. Share this tab instead. Thank you, Captain Desk, Dave, for that. Aw, he's sleeping. I should have let that one play, whatever that was. I don't know what it was, but that looked like it was good. Let's go here. Oh, damn thing. Anyway, that was good. I'm going to save that. That's awesome. Oh, there it was. Brian
on the
Tyler
same day that millions of Americans.
Anyway, Brian's got his own show. He can go watch it over there. All right, we're good. We're good. Here we go. Stop sharing. Okay, awesome. So I can't hear you, girl. Did you mute yourself?
Oh, I did. Yeah, I didn't mean to. The squeak was just icing on the cake.
It was. It was.
Squeak heard around the world.
Well, at least they use our top-notch, best equipment. Isn't that the purpose of a military parade? To show like your bulk and your strength. And you know, a Sherman tank was quite badass in what, 1938, 42, somewhere in there. Anyway,
I feel stupid for comparing it to Pyongyang because I'll tell you what, that wasn't.
I know.
That was pitiful.
Have you seen the leaked footage of Trump saying he wants his people to sit up like Kim Jong-un? Have you seen that?
No, stop.
Yeah. Let's go here.
I want to see that bitch drop and give me 20. That's what I want to see. Before you talk, before you open your mouth. Show me 10 sit-ups, buddy.
Let's see here. See, that's why I need a person on the show here. What do you call them? Oh, I saw it. Somebody sent me the thing, and I saw it. It was there. Oh, here it is. Here it is. I'm going to put the thing up. Man, we got a lot of the technical issues are not bad today. Things are going okay. Trump caught on camera. Here we go. I'm going to go make it big, biggie size it, and we're going to go here.
Close to seeing Mr. Kim here at the White House?
Could happen. I mean,
they talked about that yesterday.
I think it's something that could happen. Yeah. Hey, he's the head of a country, and I mean, he's the strong head. Don't let anyone think anything different.
Right.
He speaks, and his people sit up at attention. I want my people to do the same.
Well, are we close to seeing Mr. Kim here at the White House?
Could happen. I mean,
they talked about that yesterday.
I think it's something that could happen. Yeah. Hey, he's the head of a country, and I mean, he's the strong head. Don't let anyone think anything different.
Right.
He speaks, and his people sit up at attention. I want my people to do the same.
Well,
I want my people to do the same. Good luck with that, my friend.
Right?
Good luck with that.
Not going to happen.
Well, there is a small percentage that will. That absolutely have no problem, brown nose and looking at you, Lindsey Graham, if you're watching. Brent A, good morning, Brent A. Thank you for joining us. It's been a day or two. I hope you had a great weekend. That's an old video. It happened a year ago. Which video are we talking about? I'm not sure. Nancy says, the formations were terrible. Many soldiers were clearly defiant and didn't want to. I really want to see that. Oh, it scared me.
That's what I thought. I thought it was like defiant compliance of some sort or malicious compliance, however you want to put it. They were obeying orders, but not to the best capability.
Right. Let's see if I can find something like that.
Seriously, I've seen marching bands do better. Now, I did see some soldiers in formation that seemed to march better, but some just not.
Mark Reed says, did you see how bored Rubio was? He so didn't want to be there. There's probably quite a few of them that didn't. My understanding is there are a lot of them skipped town. On any excuse they could find, they were skipping town. They're like, oh, it's our 13th and a half wedding anniversary. I can't miss this. And, there were lots of little things that they were bailing on. Now, if there were a vote going on that required that was giving them the opportunity to take away your rights or oppress somebody, they would have made haste to be there. Just saying, good morning, Vic. How are you doing? Thank you for joining us. Swim says, please remember America's 250s sponsors when you spend your money. America 250 sponsors. I'm not sure what Palantir is bad though. I do know Palantir is bad. So.
Oh yeah, they I don't know if y'all saw, but they were one of the sponsors of the parade.
Okay, that's what. Okay, that makes sense. I have not heard that yet.
Remember, I was tying those strings together months ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, yes, I actually have a Theocracy Watch video on that very topic. I think it's coming out this week, by the way. Miracle Grow, you have to be. I'm gonna turn that down. It's scary. It's it's just out of nowhere.
Sorry, I'm stressed. It's the stress.
It's all right. I'll return the favor here in a little bit. I'll be just like, ah! What? One time it was like, it was not with this evil one. It was one of my, I think it was my first wife. I was married a long, long time ago. I was driving down the road and, you know how it is. You're driving down the road, and she goes, "Oh, look! We were going through an intersection. I thought we were about to die. It scared the shit out of me. There was just somebody or something. I don't know what it was. She just wanted to look at something. It's like, oh my goodness.
I've done that before. Oh, peace.
Well, at least I don't have to pee anymore. That's all taken care of.
We can take the long way home now.
Adult depends for me.
Trump can tell you which is the better brand.
He can. One of them catches more ass, I guess. Good morning, Jason Freer. Thank you for joining us today. Chris, America 250 is the organization that celebrates the military parade. Thank you for that. I'm a little slow. Did you hear what happened at the Trump's parade? Thank you for the $5 super chat. A tank rolled over a box of popcorn and squashed two. That was probably the most eventful thing.
That's the best part of the parade.
You could barely hear the popping of the bag over the squeaking of the tank.
I did want to point out NeuroGeezer did say, which I do remember because I actually did listen to a portion of the parade, is they were going through the history of the military. So that's why they probably had like some old shit out there.
That was well timed. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Thank you for the $5 super chat, Ray.
Thanks, Ray.
Oh yes, that does make sense. I mean, as much as I want to bash it, it makes sense. Oh no, now my Discord thing is on the wrong freaking screen. I can't even see because it's on.
Oh no.
Yes. You know what I'm going to do? I mean, no disrespect to anybody. I'm going to start turning off my Discord during the show. It's too hard to make. I mean, come on, guys. How many of you out there have a hard time with Discord? When you're not doing a live stream, talking to a person hosting, and I'm just put a link in the chat if you need me. Otherwise,
it's too much for the squirrel.
It's just too much. It's another piece of software that just does not play nice. I'm like, Jesus, where did it go? Where is it now? Just if you don't.
Oh, Discord's for some reason it just agitates me.
And we all mean the best. My people, they mean the best. I know they're sending me important things. It just it's so rattling. Captain Deadpool. There you go. Oh yeah, subscribe to Captain Deadpool.
Yes.
Dadpool. It's Dadpool.
Dadpool. Yeah, there's a lot of people in our chat who are content creators who make very good content. Make sure you subscribe.
Kip says I have a producer for times like these. I would love. I'm working my way into getting to the chance to where, well, you know, what I may do is I may, because I don't like asking people to do things for free. Bothers me to ask people to do things for free. So what I may do, since I lost Durante, is see if I can get a producer to come in and produce the show and give him the percentage of the super chats that I was paying Durante. You know, if I can find somebody willing to do that.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. It would certainly freaking help.
Pickles will do it for the right price.
Pickles would not. Kip says you cannot have fine. Pickles would. I know. Well, I got Ollie.
Give me Vish.
Vish. Oh, Vish. Well, you know, that's the deal. Vish is awesome, and Vish could probably multitask.
Or they're amazing.
There's no. It's not a. Hey, listen. Vish is not a pie.
We can't divide Vish up.
Right. I mean, it's like. I mean, how's that work? Damn, that was a bad analogy. I was trying to get it to where it's okay. I was trying to talk him into sharing Vish with me. I can have a little Vish. You can have a little Vish. It's fine. It'll be okay. That's where I was trying to go. Chris lost Durante. He's always in the last place you look. The competitions. Of course. Yeah. So that's not a bad idea. I may see about doing that. That'd certainly make my life easier, you know, having somebody to tinker with. But that's a part of the deal. This is not a full-time job. This is somebody who's obviously has the time during the morning, sort of thing. Time to kill, right. So Dr. Kip's live stream. Oh yeah, subscribe to Dr. Kip. He's fantastic. Well, there's another thing. We do have a group of people who are mods and who help run the Discord. And if we do live streams, they'll help with those, or they volunteered in the past. Not live streams, phone call-ins. They volunteered to do things like that. Now, that's something I've been thinking about doing. I've even thought about doing like we do the first part of the show like this, and then the second half of the show. So we start doing a 2-hour show every morning, or 4-hour show every day. So the first 2 hours would be like this, and the second 2 hours we'd do call-in, but bring in other hosts or some business, you know. Try to make it more of a, I don't know. I've been thinking about doing stuff. The only tanks that saw the most action at Trump's parade were the septic tanks. That's true. Thank you for the $5 super chat, Raven Lunatic. Well said. If anyone wants to follow me on TikTok, yes, follow her on TikTok. She is very proactive on the talk of ticks. This is Jessie Bear, and she's a fantastic artist, an artiste, just wonderful. Kip, damn it, Vish's channel. There we go. Oh, I want to subscribe to Vish. Let me click this subscribe to. If I'm not subscribed already, I think.
Oh, sorry for that.
Yeah, sorry. There you go. Vish is awesome. You know how this is, Dr. Kip. It's, you know, we all use different tech and different stuff, and wow, I got all kinds of comments. So yeah. Tampa Bay No Kings protest. Thank you for that tsunami. Let me clear some of this up real quick. Okay, I just wanted to make a note that I remember that peacekeepers. It was a peacekeeper that killed a bystander, not, you know. But I believe that again, there was a guy pulling out an AR-style weapon, so we may have actually barely missed a mass shooting, and people possibly ought to be thanking those peacekeepers, despite the fact that a bystander did get killed. You know. Pseudo History says, I'm cheering for Trump. In the end, Uncle Scrooge brings the turkey. Well, I don't know. In this case, he may have been being the turkey. I'm going to run us a quick commercial, guys, and then whenever we get back, we are going to run our Theocracy Watch, and we're going to do the thing. In honor of Donald Trump and his birthday, I'm going to run the fascism commercial. We'll be back.
Today's world is confusing, and there's too much information for one person to make sense of it all. Which credit card should I pay off first? Is non-fat milk good for me? Who should I vote for? Let's face it, if you can't figure out high-interest milk, then how can you be expected to make political decisions that influence a country of over 300 125 million people. Well, that's why there's fascism. Fascism is the political, social, and economic system for today's world. The Merriam-Webster dictionary defines fascism as a political philosophy, movement, or regime that exalts a nation, and often race, above the individual, and that stands for a centralized autocratic government headed by a dictatorial leader, severe economic and social regimentation, and forcible suppression of the opposition. Choose this ideology and life will be easy. Did you ever look at someone who uses really big words and think, I wish those libs would just disappear? Well, under fascism, your dreams can come true. Under fascism, you won't have to worry about the pesky little things like brown people or atheists, or who in your country is entitled to basic human rights and who is not. Hint, hint, the answer is nobody. Yes, friends, this truly is the final solution you've been looking for. And if you're concerned if this form of authoritarianism will be up to your high standards, don't worry. American fascism will be the best fascism in the world because it's been endorsed by Jesus. So go out and destroy freedom and democracy by getting fascism today. Paid for by the Fascio Conservative Party, formerly known as the GOP.
We're back. Here we are. Just now, they didn't catch all that, so rest easy. Good morning, everyone. Thank you all for joining us. Jesse Bear says, my activism has taken up so much time. I need to get back to my art, but fighting fascism and all. True. And I feel this very heavily because recently I signed back into my Facebook for my actor's Facebook, my Chris Black actor's Facebook. Wow. And I'm seeing all auditions and all these things going on. The New Mexico Shakespeare Festival is going on right now. All these things that I'm not doing. I'm not auditioning. I'm not submitting. I'm a member. I worked so hard and wanted for so long to become a member of SAG, the Screen Actors Guild, and I finally got it. And now I'm not going to re-up it because it's just, I'm not even doing the thing. Even when I wasn't getting big acting roles, I was still getting SAG level background work and stand-in work and working my way up that ladder that you have to work your way up. And because of this fascism fight we've got going on, I've set all that aside. So I feel you, Jesse. I feel you. Yeah.
You gotta take some time, just a little bit of time, to keep your heart full. You know, you can't give from an empty cup. So make sure you at least fill yourself up a bit.
There you go. Good. Find something to decompress. I play video games when I can. You know, it's like the ones I can get things, my mind off of everything else. It kind of helps me focus my ADD, I guess you might call it. Kip says, I went mountain biking with my son who is soon to be a dad. Well done. And he bought me a milkshake. It might have been my favorite Father's Day. That is awesome.
Oh yeah. Happy Father's Day to everybody. Oh my gosh.
Thank you very much. All you wonderful fathers out there, happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day.
Me and my son stuck to tradition as usual, you know. AR, good morning. Thank you for joining us. I saw your wonderful comment on my post over there on the video. Absolutely. Let me see what else I've got going on over here. I want to mention, I saw a news article, kind of a little off the wall. And you know what? Let's do Theocracy Watch, and then we'll come back. I get distracted, right? I'd be okay. All right, let me do this thing. I'll leave it up over there so I don't forget. Here we go, and time for Theocracy.
You're tuned into the Atheist Morning Show on the DAM Network. And this is Theocracy Watch.
Christians across the country are being radicalized in the name of the good news. This week, that gospel ended in bloodshed. Welcome back to Theocracy Watch, where the same ideology that claims to save lives is now inspiring people to take them. The suspect is Vance Luther Bolter, a 57-year-old former preacher and missionary. He showed up in police tactical gear and opened fire at two Minnesota lawmakers' homes. He killed Minnesota House DFL leader Melissa Hortman, who was still actively serving in her 11th term, along with her husband, and even shot their dog. He also shot Senator John Hoffman and his wife at their home, leaving both hospitalized. Bolter posed as a cop, driving a Ford Explorer outfitted with red and blue flashing lights. Wearing a lifelike face mask and a fake uniform, he began knocking on doors because in a country where we're trained to obey authority and fear defiance, he didn't need to force his way in. He only needed to play the part. Inside his vehicle, authorities found a kill list with nearly 70 names of Democratic lawmakers, abortion rights activists, and also local officials. There was also a manifesto laced with Christian nationalist rhetoric. And in one of those final messages he sent to one of his friends, he said, "I love you guys. I might be dead soon. I made some choices." Bolter once claimed his ministry preached that violence was not an answer. But at some point, Bolter stopped serving God and started performing him. And let's not pretend this came out of nowhere. Donald Trump has spent years glorifying retribution, calling Democrats demons, and telling his followers to take back the country by any means necessary. Groups like Wall Builders, Moms for Liberty, Reawaken America, and of course, Project 2025 have turned that rhetoric into curriculum policy and mobilization. The GOP doesn't just tolerate it, they echo it, fundraise off of it, and write laws in its image. Meanwhile, the morality militia wait outside abortion clinics, stalk patients, recording faces, tracking license plates, and shouting names. But somehow that's not seen as a privacy violation or a threat to public safety. It's framed as free speech. People like Vance don't just think God speaks through them, but that he appointed them to judge, to punish, and to purify. Somehow, the message is always violence. Why is it that every time someone claims to speak for God, they sound more interested in punishment than compassion? So until next time, remember, no kings and stay curious.
You know, it is crazy that they will take. I think a lot of it has to do with the misinformation and the lies, the constant bombardment of lies that these people endure if they listen to Fox, if they listen to AON, if they listen to what Trump and his ilk say. It's just this constant bombardment of lies, vilifying good people. And oftentimes the lies they spout are lies, are truths about them, as we've mentioned. And it's just really sad. Trump did come out and he said, you know, my heart goes out to the families of people who are unloved, and moved on. You know, went on with his, as far as I know, right?
Well,
yeah. I'm almost certain somebody else wrote it for him, because had he written it for himself, it would have been like, but they probably deserved it because they're scum, they're Democrats, they're, you know. I don't know if you noticed this. Marjorie Trader Green was engaging with somebody I was watching on TV, and she's in there and she's saying, so you're saying you're a proud Democrat, you're a proud liberal, you're this kind of thing? He's like, yeah, unless you're saying it's no longer legal to be that in your country. And she looks down at her papers and you can see on her face, it's like, well, not yet. And I'm like,
damn.
You know, she didn't say anything. That's just my, face reading is just, but you know.
I mean, that's probably what she was thinking.
Mm-hmm.
This is it's a coordinated attack. These different agencies are working hand in hand. The different agencies are being utilized against us at every angle. All of our democracy is being attacked.
That's true. That's true. And here's the deal. I don't know if this is going to bother some people in the chat, because it does seem to be like a trigger word for some people. Sometimes we use it carefully for some reason. Je ne sais pas. But I am an anti-fascist. I am Antifa. I could get that tattooed on my arm and proudly walk around with nothing. If there's somebody, now they're out there, they're going, that Democrat's Antifa. Well, shouldn't we all be Antifa? Shouldn't we all be anti-fascist? Shouldn't we all be for not having an authoritarian dictator overthrow our government? Isn't that what we should all be? So anybody calling me like, especially like woke, but you know, if you call me an Antifa or anti-fascist, I would probably wear. Right,
it's not a slight to me. It's weird that's supposed to be like bad name.
That's true. And you know, the woke thing too. Call me woke. Hell yeah, I'm woke. If you think woke is an insult, you don't know what the meaning of the word woke really means. You know, there's so many people out there.
And their anti-woke is the same thing, just the polar opposite. Really.
it's like anti-racist. It's kind of, because that's what racism limits people, that it's racist, that woke extends beyond, obviously, racism. Woke, I guess, would be anti-racism, anti-misogynism, anti all of that stuff, where, everybody's supposed to be treated equally and well. Damn it.
Right.
Ricardo Gomez, I'm Antifa. Any of you old enough to remember I Am Spartacus, where they're trying to figure out, where's Spartacus? Which one of you slaves is Spartacus? And this one guy's like, I am Spartacus. And they're like, there he is, go get him. And this other guy stands up and goes, I am Spartacus. And then for long, they're all standing up going, I am Spartacus. We are Antifa.
I don't have any qualms about that. I'm really confused.
I know, it's awesome sauce. I know. Why do people think that's bad? That's not bad. Let's see. Kyle Chrome. Good morning, Kyle Chrome. Cool name. I hope I said it right. Kyle Chrome? Yeah, good morning. I hope I said that right. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to the damnation. Thank you for joining us at this ungodly hour. Neuro Geezer. I think the worst thing about religion is that it creates suckers. See, Nancy, I am Spartacus. We should call it the Spartacus movement. That's right. Watch, the right is going to try to spin this to say he's a psycho or psyop or Democrat or something.
They already are.
They already are. Who? What happened? What did I miss?
I'm assuming he's talking about this person who went and shot and killed. I don't know. Is that who you're talking about? AR? But yeah, I've already seen that they're saying that he was a Democrat when all sources say he was a Trump supporter. Even his friends, his next door neighbors, say he was a Trump supporter.
I saw the first news I saw was that he was appointed by Governor Walz, and he was a friend of Walz, or he spent time working in an office with Walz, or some shit like that. That was the first time I saw it. It's me, Kyle. Oh, it's Kyle.
Hi, Kyle.
Religion is too often used as a weapon. Yeah. And, whenever I saw the phrase religion is used to create ignorant people or whatever, I was like, no, wait, or create suckers. I was like, nah, well, really, religion preys on suckers. But I was wrong in my thinking. It didn't take me very long to realize, hey, you're wrong, because they intentionally force their religion on young children in order to create suckers who will believe that religion later. So you are indeed correct. Thank you for that. Axel Ignite is here. Check and mate, says Axel Ignite. Awesome sauce. I wanted to mention something. John Hudson was talking. He mentioned in the chat. I just can't let this go, John. If you're still there, if I can find it here in the chat. Yes, he said that. No, I don't know, you guys. He was having some issues, and they found out he has 3 testicles. So he's a polyorchid. That's what that's called when you have like more than 2 testicles. You're a polyorchid. And then, I mean, he's got to be in like his 40s or 50s. I'm thinking. I'm not sure how old he is. But you got to be in his 50s. How do you not know that you have another 3rd testicle down there? Yeah, I mean, me and mine, I have names for them. How do you not know? We're well familiar with each other. But wait, my friends. He has 4. He found out he had 4. Just the other day, he's grown a 4th testicle. So he was mentioning in the chat that, oh, please, I found it. Did it force it to roll up? He said he had 3 women, or he got 3 women pregnant just by shaking hands with them. And he got 2 women pregnant just by standing next to them in the grocery store. I can imagine. Sumami says, I think sometimes we fail to recognize how difficult it is for white-presenting people to understand that systemic issues even exist. Things are basically built to facilitate that inability. It's true. A lot of words. Very true.
Christianity has a lot to do with it. It's filled that gap. It's basically been the stopgap that allows people to see the systemic issues, because I'm so busy hating myself and worried about every little damn thing that I've done to sin. I'm busy looking up like this at God versus looking around at my fellow man. I'm too busy trying to swim. I don't have time to care about my next door neighbor because I think I'm the one who's going to die. You lose your compassion. You're just trying to save yourself.
Right. When, you know, they were coming for other people. You hear that thing, you know, I didn't say anything when they came for this person. And you really should continue that thought by saying, because I was terrified off my fucking ass is why I didn't say anything. And then I didn't say anything while they came for, and then eventually they came for me. Because, you know, some people, they don't do anything because they agree with the people that are coming. But most of us are just afraid.
Yeah.
Let's see. It was Sapphic Hazard asked whose testicles we were talking about. John Hudson. John, the man.
John,
Hudson.
he's like, my testicles are a hot topic of conversation.
Right. John, the testosterone fire hose Hudson in the chat.
I wonder if does he have more testosterone?
I don't know. Is he shooting blanks? I don't know.
Maybe that would penetrate a force field. He got that super sperm.
Really? That's fascinating. Yeah, that's probably, yeah. No condom can stop it. It just comes through like 500 miles an hour. Let's see here. Suggestion box for the damn show. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, we got a little survey if you want to give us some ideas. And some things we keep on, you know, track to. Okay, now that we've done the thing, though.
Yes, you were going to say
all the things. I was going to say something there. I want to mention, here's an article from the Texas Tribune. The article is titled, this was dropped yesterday, by the way, it's titled, El Paso Joins Abbott's Border Crackdown. The number of dead migrants in the New Mexico desert surges. So because of the practices of what's going on ever since Governor Abbott decided to join and start helping and making it harder for people to get across and all the things that they've been doing, more people have been stranded out in the desert and died or whatever business is going on. I didn't want to go too deep into the article because it really wasn't what our show was about today. It's more about, I just wanted to bring it up whenever we start talking about how, because some of the other videos that we're producing that are dropping today on the Theocracy Watch channel and on the Chris Mallard channel, those videos that are dropping over there have to do with the cruelty, the absolute harm and cruelty, how on the right, they will hurt hundreds of thousands of children to harm that one little kid over there that they don't like. Christians. Conservatives. It's like a hobby for them. It's like, I don't know, their signature move. If you were a video game playing person, that would be like up, down, BA, select, start, pow, and it would all of a sudden hurt a bunch of children to just get it one or two that they had a problem with. What is it about these people? So I just wanted to mention that this is just another a thing. You know, whenever they get their way, people die. People die. How many people could you lay, how many deaths could you lay at the feet of Greg Abbott? People who didn't need to die. You know, I remember whenever they first put that thing, that stupid barrier up in the water across.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
So and bodies were getting hung up in it. Yeah. I mean, and you know, the problem with that is the people on the right are just so happy. That's what I voted for.
Yeah, how do you?
You know, how many of you say that's what I want? Let me get me in the middle. It's very bothersome. It's not there.
That's Christian love for you.
Christian love at its finest. Good morning, Austin Sims. Thank you for joining us. Ian Davenport, take care. Thank you for joining us today. Very much appreciate you. Have a wonderful week. Send safely, my friend. Come visit with us. Yes, thank you very much. Right-handed Sith, welcome. Thank you for joining us. You've been hiding. Right-handed Sith has been off doing the thing.
Actually, I think did you miss a super chat? I know we'll get to it, but did you miss Raven Lunatic's last super chat?
Let me see. Did I miss Raven Lunatic's?
I feel like we didn't say anything about it.
The only tanks that saw the tanks that saw the most action at Trump's parade were the septic tanks. I didn't miss it. That was a good one. We didn't dwell on it terribly long. Yeah. Let's see, did you hear what happened at Trump's parade? A tank rolled over a box of popcorn and squashed 2 colonels. Yeah, well, so I didn't miss any. I thought I may have. Yep, I got it. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay. It still isn't there. David Pepper. Let Texas secede. You know, there's been this talk. We had a talk on the show. You know, there's this map that shows like the southern states. You know what? We ought to just give the southern states to the righties. Take them. Just take them. And the problem with that is once you do that, then you set up borders. Then there's us versus them. And then you have the most armed, militant, hateful, ugly group of people concentrated into one place. And I don't think it'd be long before they'd want to just take over the entire country. Once you gave them the borders of the southern states, then once they got their shit together and they started their us versus them thing, they would absolutely be the aggressors. Donald Trump is a perfect example of that, going to being the aggressor towards Canada, towards Mexico, towards freaking Greenland. Anyway, Math Pig is here.
Math Pig.
Math Pig says, did we all enjoy the big, beautiful parade?
Yeah, big and beautiful.
Yes. Very bigly.
Ever. Yeah, bigly. The biggest we've ever seen, maybe in history.
I know. Biggest ever. Hey, good morning, Bree. Thank you for joining us. Were you awed and surprised at the vastness of the showing of support for Donald Trump on his parade?
What a joke. What a joke.
Yes. Let's see. Sapphic Hazard. I always know I've had a successful event when the audience is only half the people there to perform. You know, it was a sad little event. I'm glad it went the way it did. Let's see. Sumami. Okay, you guys are doing things. Yeah. I'm just kind of glad. With all the things we got going on in the world, the nationwide protests are fantastic. And how far are we in? We're 6 months? 4 months since he took power. 5 months since he took power. Not even half a year. There we go.
I see a lot of crybabies for certain in the comment section. Like the Trumpians, like upset at the commentary.
Really?
Like,
yeah.
Like,
I really,
nobody likes your president. We really don't. And when you tell me that I should be the one to leave this country because I'm standing up for what this allegedly country says it's all about, what was built on the foundations, the founding fathers, why don't you pick your ass up and go to Russia where you want to worship? Like, if you want a dictator, I reserve the right for that freedom. Please do. Why don't you go to the foreign country and I'll stay here where my freedom is guaranteed to me. And yes, I will fight for it.
That's right. You go away. You go find some fascist dictator that you want to kiss ass to and go do that thing.
Freedom and dictator don't go into the same sentence.
They really don't.
You can't remember
how they were always talking about they want to come after your rights and take away your rights and all this. This is what the people on the right used to say all the time. They were screaming about, the left is coming to take your guns, or they want to take your rights. Really, they want to take your rights to be ugly to other people. That's kind of the deal. Now, whenever the right wing gets into power, they literally go after people's rights. They've gone after assaulting people's rights all across this country using the Christians. We've seen it through Theocracy Watch. Whether they're doing, they're just, it's sickening how these people have
their whole platform is Darvo. They literally get up on the platform, they deny, they attack, they reverse victim and offender. That is their entire system, is to make us into the attacker when they're pushing, prodding, pulling, stealing our rights from us.
Right. One of the things I think is good is that I'm finally seeing more people, because I remember a long time ago, remember that, we say it often, the term, every accusation is a confession.
Confession, right.
And I remember a long time ago, man, these people are really hypocritical. How is it that not enough people out there know that whenever they're calling someone something, they're probably doing that thing? And I remember it seemed new to me at some point. Like it wasn't in the zeitgeist. And now as we go further and further, it's like now it's everywhere that I knew what it was, but I didn't have the language to express exactly, like when I was living in that situation, what was happening to me, how like he was constantly the one who was harming me, but was turning me into the one who was making him feel bad for making him do the mean things to me. Right. But now, like, there's words and there's way to explain it, and your brain's like, oh, I'm not crazy. You're trying to make me crazy. I get it. Right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, gaslighting at its finest.
Gaslighting.
Purple Rhymes with Orange, good morning, Perps, said Russia created commercials to try and get MAGA-type people to move there. I think they even started a little city or little town or community of expatriates that moved to Russia. I wonder if we could ever find out
really?
how many.
Bye.
How many? Yeah.
I'll buy
How
you a
many-
ticket. Seriously, like if you will leave this country, let me know. I will fundraise for your ass to get you out of here.
I'm looking for how many fight in Ukraine for Putin. How many are on Putin's side? Because, come on, all these right-wing gun nuts over here who are sucking Trump's, dictator, as you will. They're all about the guns and what they want to do and how they want to, blah, 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 blah. Well, there's a war going on over there where Vladimir Putin would gladly let them go do whatever murder, death, killing they wanted to do. So how many of them have actually gone over there? I'd like to know. But the question is just going to be too difficult to noodle out on the thing. I should ask chat, so I should let it do the noodling. But do you trust chat?
Yeah, it lies so much. It just lies so much.
Yeah, I can use it to do things. I just got to check it.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you have to just verify. Like, ask it for. So, like, you got to use it smart and like, okay, where are these sources? You got to check the sources. So it does compile and make everything easier for you and organized in one place. But it will just make facts up. No problem.
That is true. The right-wing people under Trump creating policy for the United States found that out the hard way, didn't they? The news reports of them using chat to it was all making shit up.
Science.
Yep.
Fake science.
Purple says, remember, Trump was on Russia's side until he had a chance to exploit Ukraine's national resources himself. Natural resources. That's true, too. There's probably a lot of complicated things. One of the things about Trump is that he's been on Putin's side for a long time. No matter what, he's always been down for Putin. He's never said bad words about Putin. So, yeah. He's just a narcissistic megalomaniac.
Birds of a feather. That tells you something.
Very true. Stamami says, I saw some right-wing trash on Facebook yesterday shilling for Israel and posting gross memes about Iran. There's a whole deal. People are like, well, Iran was up to bad stuff. Yeah, but Iran's been up to bad stuff for a long time. Why they picked me out to do this? Was it something,
Iran's been bad to their own people, but has Iran been attacking other countries like Israel has been since forever? Every single damn country surrounding them, they just attack.
Right. We talked about it. Yeah. It would be nice if Israel, the beast that it is, would, and I mean Zionist Israel, those who need the separation, it'd be nice if they took out the ugliness that's at the top of power in Iran and then the people would finally take over. And it would be nice to get people, if somehow that accidentally, I know that's not what Israel would intend, to make the Iranian people free of this, what's going on over there. But it'd be nice
about them people.
They damn sure
use them as a pawn. He's been the one that helped them get to where they are.
Oh yeah,
that he's incited that kind of behavior, the extremist behavior, just like Trump is inciting extremist behavior here, and we're seeing that played out now.
And Sapphic Hazard says RFK Jr. trying to promote miasma theory over germ theory.
No, wait, what is he doing?
Miasma theory over germ theory. Let me look this up here.
I don't know if I know what that word is, you guys.
I'm not sure.
I'm not a science gal, unfortunately. I wish I was. I loved science in school until science went up against my Christian values.
Oh, I see. I get you. It makes sense based on what I've heard about it. Miasma theory emphasizes preventing disease by fortifying the immune system through nutrition and reducing exposure to environmental toxins and stresses. So,
how are you going to do that?
Well, see, no, yeah. How do you? Well, I mean, if you got like millions of dollars and you're from the Kennedy family, maybe you can avoid stresses that don't bother you.
Yeah.
But anyway, I mean, let's take that just off the face value. It makes sense. You know what you should do? You should do that anyway. You should avoid diseases by eating healthy. Yeah, and reducing your exposure to environmental toxins. That all makes sense. That doesn't mean you should replace modern medicine, though. That doesn't mean you should replace germ theory with this, that they should work hand in hand.
It
This
doesn't
should
have
just
to be
be like
either or.
It absolutely does not. But leave it to RFK. Leave it to these bastards to make the absolute wrong decision.
This is calling,
everything.
y'all. This is a CULLING. This is the calling
Yeah.
of the sicker people in this country. I'm
Mhm.
probably saying immunocompromised people. Thank you. Sorry. I apologize if I said something that was not right. But immunocompromised people is what they're trying to wipe out of this country because they feel like they're holding us back, because that's what eugenics is.
Eugenics.
Yeah.
Another war on the poor.
Yeah.
Another front.
We don't need
on the poor.
They're holding us back.
Yep. True enough. Let me just hear. I'm going to, people have been asking for some goats. I think I'll give them some goats, and we also have the pup. I'll do the goats first, and then we'll come back and we'll hang out for a little bit. And we'll continue to rant and rave about this stuff. We'll be back in just a minute.
Have you sinned again? Oh, and it's bad this time. A chicken just won't do. But wait, you don't have a goat for your burnt offering. Oh, no. The Lord's wrath is upon you.
Insignificant person whose name I don't know, you have sinned. Probably. I shall smite thee.
What do you do? You're all out of goats. She left you for another man.
Fear not, my wayward child. Introducing Father Flanagan's line of goat-scented flesh candles.
No goat? No problem. Just light one of these bad boys and let the sweet, savory scent of burning goat flesh rise up to the heavens.
Is that goat?
It's easy, it's fast, and deluxe models even have patented technology that produces a goat screaming sound as the wick burns.
Father Flanagan's line of goat-scented candles. Save a goat, burn a candle.
Father Flanagan's line of goat-scented flesh candles are part of our You Do You Jew interfaith outreach program.
When you sinned and need to atone, light a candle and avoid the stone. When the Lord requires that pungent smell, light a candle or you're going to hell.
Yeah, it's not a big surprise whenever we hear about some of the craziness coming out of RFK Jr. We knew this beforehand. That's why he was chosen. He was chosen very specifically because of his dedication to the craziness, the craziest, most nonsensical bullshit that's out there. Remember, this is the guy who hit a baby bear and then carried it in a New York park in his car. The same guy who, remember, this is my favorite one. There was a dead whale. He heard a news report about a dead whale on a beach, a small one, a pilot whale. So he goes down there and he cuts its head off with a chainsaw and carries it home on top of his car. This is the guy. The guy. Makes you wonder, doesn't it? Mm-hmm.
Makes me wonder if these people have a rational thought in their damn head.
Right. Clearly, the worst possible person you could choose for that role. For what? The head of the Department of Health and Human Services, right? That's his role.
And for Americans to be okay with him to be in the position, like to hold the power that he does.
Yeah.
That says a lot. That to me is even more frightening, to know that your neighbors, you're out in public with these people. Do you wash your hands? Do you wash your hands after you go to the bathroom, or do you think you need to build your immune system?
Right.
Are you one of them? Do you lick your fingers after you go to the bathroom? You want your body to build immunity to the E. coli.
Yeah, the one licking the door handles.
Hey, I play in the dirt. Gosh, I mean, to some extent, yes, you do need to create an environment where your body can test its abilities. Mm-hmm. But you're going a little too far.
Or a little, yes. Brent A says Christine Noem as DHS, Department of Homeland Security Secretary is terrifying. It absolutely is. That's some batshit crazy right there.
When she answers questions, it's just like this. No real.
And that hair.
No Oh yeah.
The way her hair blocks out all her side vision. Have you noticed that? It blocks out all her peripheral, like a horse. Yeah, like that. It's like that.
She has blinders. She has little blinders.
You know what's on both sides of her? The truth, and she dare not see it.
What I do know is habeas corpus. Donald Trump has the right to revoke it.
Yes, that's his right to revoke people's what again? You have no idea what habeas. How could you not
know what
know?
it was?
Yeah, clearly, and that again, that's why she was chosen. Part of why she was chosen. Her, her and Cricket. The story of her and Cricket, the dog, the puppy that
I
she killed.
know.
That story put her in the office that she's in. It was her cruelty, her willingness to display cruelty at that level. I mean, look, and then they put her where? They put her where? In the place where a person that's cruel can do the most harm. And she's loving it. She's lapping it up. But she's been called out several times for her little photo ops where she'll go out and put on costumes dressed up like an agent of this type or an agent or like a cowboy.
She loves putting the hats on with the DHS and the police and the ICE. Yeah, she thinks she's hot shit.
Absolutely. And it's really shameful. It's shame. What's that, girl?
I want to go swimming with Bree.
Oh, El Paso and go swimming. Are you in El Paso? You're not terribly far away, just like 4 or 5 hours. I'm in Albuquerque. Yeah.
You and Bree?
We'll go swimming.
Go swimming.
I sink like a rock. Like, help! I'd be like olive oil. 1, 3, 2. You know what I'm talking about? Olive oil when she'd drown on Popeye. She'd fall in the water and you just see her little hand come up and she'd like drowning. 3, like she's giving a countdown.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. A countdown to how long she has. Oh, my God. Just swim. Stop doing that and swim. Flap your arms, God damn it.
Flap your arms.
Stop being in distress. Take care of yourself.
Bree says the pool is only 5 feet deep. Okay, I get you. So it'd be like chest high on me. I can still drown in that, though, if I ain't careful. Hadge Daub KWS just subscribed.
Welcome.
Interesting name.
Welcome to the crazy.
Welcome. Thank you for joining us this morning. Tony B. No Talk Tony says she thinks she is hot shit on a silver platter, but she's nothing but a cold diarrhea on a paper plate. I haven't heard that saying since I was a kid. I mean, yeah, it's been many moons. How old are you, Tony? No old people in my chat. Should say that. My chat would be all up. Polo.
Marco.
John is John. There we go. I think it's the first time I've seen that saying. You've never seen that saying before, Suffolk Hazard? Oh, man.
I don't know if I've ever
hot
heard
snot. Yeah. The another one was hot snot. You think you're hot snot when you're just a cold booger. Another one is a kid. You know, those West Texas things. Kidnapping people off the street from their jobs and sending them extremely sketchy detention centers that they're blocking even congressional reps from accessing to see the conditions. I know, right? It's and then the fact that they don't have to identify themselves and all this stuff. You've got criminals out there dressing up as ICE agents and hurting people because they can get away with it. People are told not to resist and not to, I mean,
So basically this is the third in the past week, because we've heard of someone getting robbed because they posed as an ICE agent, and again, you just have to comply. You can't question. You can't question. So anybody can pose as an officer, and here this guy Bowler, whatever, went and posing as a cop. Even had the lights, the fake badge, and had a weird fake skin looking mask on when he was knocking on the doors.
Did he? I didn't. Yeah, I heard he had some kind of mask.
I don't open the door to nobody. I don't care if you're a cop, especially a cop. I won't open the door. You have to break that motherfucking thing down.
Do you have a warrant? That's the first. Do you have a warrant?
Yeah.
You have a warrant. Gotta always ask. Do you have a warrant?
Right.
Yeah. Then go away. Come back with a warrant. I watched a video of this guy. They rang his doorbell. It was what do you call it? A Ring doorbell.
Ring camera, yeah.
And they're trying to get him to come out. He's like, what do you want? And he's like, well, we want to ask you some questions. He's like, ask away.
I'm
they're
right
like,
here.
no, we need you to come out here. And he's like, no, I'm in bed, man. And do you have a warrant? They're like, no warrant. He's like, I hung up on him. Come back with a warrant. We'll talk. But yeah, don't fall for none of that shit.
Because they think that they can get away with anything.
Very true. Very true. And they're slowly turning them into extermination camps. There are lots of reports of starvations in the camps. I mean, like weeks after they opened the first camps, you started hearing about the conditions and how they were treated. And you would see them marching these men, these criminals, prisoners, whatever they are, abductees, I guess, if you will, in nothing but like boxer shorts with their heads covered in bags, their hands tied behind their back, folded over, and with their face down, and walking them individually through this thing. I mean, you don't see images of like that from that. I mean, if you go back and look at images of World War II, you don't see things like that in prison camps. They didn't treat them that way. You'd see images of them in like lines. I mean, you know, so I just figure, I just suspect it's just kind of a matter of time if they don't have checks, if they don't stop, if they continue, you know. And these are innocent people. They are literally it's the whole deal. Well, you know, they ain't from America, so why do they deserve due process? Well, how do you know if they're not from America if you don't give them due process?
Exactly.
You got to give them due process. If you don't give them due process, you're just kidnapping people.
Yeah. And why should I comply with some masked individual in the land of freedom? I have the right to protect myself. If you put hands on me and you don't identify yourself, do I not have the right to defend my body, my person?
And see, that's exactly what's going on with that woman mayor, I believe. I don't remember what position she has. She's up in New York or New Jersey, where she was at a jail talking. Yeah, and this ICE guard or something put his hands on her, and she brushed him off or something, and they've charged her with assault.
Yep.
And then they're just dying to arrest the political people.
They are the Gestapo.
They are. And they are unafraid, unapologetic.
Another thing I'm seeing, you don't know what fascism is. You don't know what nationalism is. I'm like,
I know, right? I know.
Are you kidding me? Like, really?
Yes. It amazes me. It amazes me how many.
What they don't realize is they like fascism. That's the problem.
That's right.
They don't want to admit that they are the ones.
It's a label they don't like.
It's a label they don't like, but it's who they are.
But they love everything besides the label. Yeah. Yep. ICE is the American Gestapo. Thank you very much. And it's just getting worse. I'm looking forward to seeing some people come forward. Some ICE agents and Marines or National Guard people come forward and tell their stories about what they've seen happen and what they've been told to do. You know, did any of them get any intimations from their superiors that maybe a rubber bullet to a press person would possibly get them a reward, or I don't know. Well, interesting.
They always journalists are the first people that they attack, because the less eyes you have, people, you can keep it more hush hush. They've in Palestine, they've killed, I think, 200 journalists at this point, because the less people reporting, the less the news will be leaked.
And one of the first things Donald Trump did, and one thing that he has done persistently, consistently, is beat on the press and beat on the press.
Exactly.
And beat on the press. I mean, you could always argue
people from the White House, right?
What's that?
Didn't he ban certain people from the White House?
Oh, absolutely. Certain news organizations from the White House, if they don't spread his lies, if they don't toe the line for him. And that's one of the things, he's been going after the press since day one, vilifying them. If they say anything bad about him. Now, part of the problem is the press has kind of always had a bad rep for more playing on the side of the rich, or, the press has just kind of not really had but journalistic instincts, and the people on the bottom of that rung, the journalists, have a good heart, I think, when they go into that business. Wow. It's just shadow.
AP, I think you might be right, Sapphic Hazard. I think it might have been AP.
What's that?
And he calls them nasty. He'll call anybody nasty, but he usually will call like women nasty.
Gotcha. Later, John. Take care. Yeah, I think it was the AP News wire service. There were a certain amount of wire services that we were allowed in the office. He kicked them out. They filed an injunction. A judge was going to make Donald Trump's office force them to let them back in. So Donald Trump went ahead and had his office rewrite the rules. So instead of 3 wire services, they no longer have any wire services. And that gets them out of having to do the AP.
All their secretary meetings and press things. It's boys' club. I swear, like
absolutely.
Mrs. Secretary, Trump is such an amazing president and so smart. And how are the deals going? Because we know he's always America first. Like it's like, let me get in there and lick your asshole.
They have replaced real journalists with social media content, right wings talking heads. Just imagine if the next liberal president had me on and had me in his crowd as one of the people asking questions. How inappropriate would that be?
I mean, like, if you want to have like touch base with social media influencers, I see no problem with that, allowing all the gamut. Like, if you let the gamut in and allow them questions, but that's not what we see when they allow influencers in. It's always those far right ones because they're getting paid, and then the questions are they're like a little softball.
It's somebody asked, Nancy says, anyone else see the clip of Trump skipping a young Asian man when he was shaking people's hands? I haven't seen that yet. Wouldn't surprise me. Feel free to post a link if you have a link to the video, and I'll look at it. Only Trump fanboys allowed. That's what happened at the parade, the military parade they held recently, where he was down there talking to the Army, not the Marines. It was the Army, which is the same people who put on the parade, not the Marines, which is the ones he deployed to LA. But he was talking to the Army, and beforehand, are you okay?
Oh, I'm petting Pickles, sorry.
Oh, I didn't know what was happening.
I'm going up and down her back.
Like she disappeared, and then she comes back, and then she disappeared, and then she comes. There's Pickles. Let's put Pickles on the pickle cam. I will put Pickles on the pickle. Let's go here and highlight.
Adjust.
There you are.
Get my face. There we go. Is that better?
Hi, Pickle. You say hi. Everybody wants to say hi to you. Yes.
I'll get my weed out the way. Don't mind that.
Yeah.
Pay no attention to the V. There's our on-site technical staff there. Thank you, Pickles, for doing that wonderful magic.
Thanks, Pickles.
Making sure everything is perfect.
We appreciate you. You did a great job. You're a real American pup.
Mm-hmm. There we are, and I'm knocking back the part of a donut, so bear with me. I'll try not to. The snub was so blatantly obvious, Mommy. Oh yeah, I would like to see that. Let's see.
What, baby?
Ryan's link. That's awesome. I'm just checking the links here. Cool. Lucky Pickle. That's right, Bill. That's what I was saying too. I have Lucky Pickle. Never wanted to be a dog so much in my life. Tim Pool is a neo-Nazi. Yeah. He's isn't he the one that's at the White House? Is he the one that's one of the correspondents at the White House? Or is he still how is he even still a talking head? After the
who is this douchebag? I don't know who he is. I've heard of his name, but
yeah, he first became live streaming Occupy Wall Street. He's been a talking head for a long time on the right, and he's the one who about 4 or 5 months ago we heard about how the Russian government was paying hundreds of thousands of dollars per episode to him and other people like him to spread Russian propaganda on his channel.
Oh man.
Yep. And now, see, he's a right-wing talking head. So part of the thing that made it easy was a lot of his propaganda matched what they were saying anyway. So it's a pretty easy role for him. The MAGA propaganda and the Russian propaganda, because Vladimir Putin's behind most of the MAGA shit. So allegedly, according to the Amazing Supercross. Actually, he's a Zionist. Who's a Zionist? And would probably be really offended at being called a neo-Nazi, but it's close enough. Who's a Zionist?
Tim Pool.
Oh, Tim Pool.
Is he?
Okay, I can see that.
Maybe. I would assume so. Most of them, it's not synonymous, but it's kind of like if you're Trumpian, you're probably a Zionist.
Once you know the big picture and you realize how the world truly is and works, according to the Amazing Super Chris anyway, you'll realize that a Nazi and a Zionist are not that different. Yeah, sure. Because the Nazis, because Nazis unalived Jews, you think they're different, but that's not that. No, they're No,
the
they're
ideology.
acting the same way. It's the ideology. Yes, they have no problem doing the same thing. I would not be surprised. And this, again, if you know me, you know I don't mean all of Israel or all of the Israelis. But given the opportunity, I don't think, I would not be surprised if Netanyahu were to start building gas chambers in Gaza. Would not surprise me a bit if it were to happen.
I mean, he's talked about
They're doing
finding a
that.
solution. Yeah, they're just doing it through bombs.
Without the chambers.
Gas, exactly. They have them in a huge chamber, basically. You know, it's like a mile and a half long or whatever it is. But yeah, similar but different. Similar but different.
Ben Nine Lives says some atheists are Zionists. I don't know about that necessarily so much about being a Zionist, because part of being a Zionist is about there's a religious aspect to being a Zionist, I believe, but I could be wrong. Maybe it's if you support Israel, you can be considered a Zionist. I don't know. For the woke Antifa anti-Darvo producer fund, thank you, Fern Lovebomb, for the $5 of support. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. For the woke Antifa anti-Darvo producer fund. You're thinking, Ryan, I can tell.
Yeah, I was just my brain was trying to parse that out, because like Zionism is a geopolitical ideology, but it uses religion, as its way of dispensing information, so that way it has the cover, the protection of anti-Semitism. It's just such a fuckery. It really is a fuck.
It really is.
It's really what it is.
Yeah, it's hard to.
The Zionists helped South Africa. That's one of the ways that South Africa was able to come into power, and they would help them with apartheid and whatnot.
Okay.
Because, little bosom buddies, birds of a feather.
It's a mindset. It's a mindset of personality. I've been trying to classify for a while. I think one time we referred to it kind of as extremism, but extremism is a more broad. I'm talking about a specific kind of extremism. But you nailed hit it on the head when what they use. They're a form of government, an oppressive form of government of a fashion that uses religion as a leverage or means against the people, for the people, or to drive its agenda, almost always to the harm of the people. Let me see.
Because they're really gullible and don't necessarily realize what's going on. They just believe it. They eat it up.
Right.
Not that they're innocent victims, I'm just saying.
Oh yeah. Ben Nine Live says, check out ACA. Some claim to be Zionists. Go figure. Both Nazism and Zionism are. Well, see, yeah, they're kind of both right-wing religious mentalities. I mean, even Hitler had on their belt buckles said "Gott mit uns." He was the Catholic Church, huh?
Little penis.
Yeah, God with us is what.
Oh, not bad.
Kind of they misspelled little penis. But even Hitler was condoned. He was backed by the Catholic Church. So yeah, very similar. A lot of similar things going on. I'm going to read our super chat and then wrap things up and go hang out.
Oh wow, I didn't realize what time it was.
I know, time's fun when you're having flies. And what I'll do is I'll read our super chats. I'll let you go, and then I'll do the pup, since we promised the pup earlier. Ian Davenport for $10 gave us a thank you sticker. Thank you, Ian. I think Ian had to leave earlier. I could be wrong, but thank you for that.
Yeah.
Raven Lunatic for $10 says, Tom had fallen on hard times. He leaves one day to become a whore. He comes home and tells his wife, I made $200.05. His wife says, who's the cheap bastard who gave you a nickel? Tom replies, all of them. Tom needs to lay down right now. Tom is sore.
That's a lot of work, Tom.
It's a lot of work.
Overachiever, that Tom.
Yeah. You need to raise your prices, Tom.
Think too little of yourself, buddy.
Raven Lunatic for $5 says, did you hear what happened at the Trump's parade? A tank rolled over a box of popcorn and squashed 2 colonels. The height of the parade, the highlight of the parade. Yeah.
Pop, pop.
I think it's so funny that I didn't dawn on me as to why that Sherman tank would be there. I didn't watch the whole parade, obviously. But that they were doing an eras by the era.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, you dummy. Yeah, okay. It's not just the only tank that could get on the road.
I wonder what damage it did. That's what I'd like to know, if there's any damage done to the roads.
Yeah. Let's see here. Raven Lunatic for $5 says the only tanks that saw the most action in Trump's parade were the septic tanks. True, the porta potty tanks. And to be honest, even there, they were they had more than they needed. More porta potties than they needed.
Mm-hmm.
Sadly for Herr Trump. And Fern Lovebond, $5 for the woke anti-Darvo producer fund. Thank you very much for that. We very much appreciate your support. You guys are all wonderful. Ryan, I will see you later. I'm going to do the pup commercial for these people. Whenever I get back, I will close out the show.
Bye, folks. Love you all.
All right.
Flanagan!
Yes, sir. Very disturbing, I know.
Fetch me Father Flanagan.
Your Highness.
You are in the presence of His Holiness, the Puppius Maximus, guardian of the sacred fire hydrant, defender of the holy tennis ball, and eater of the golden kibble, Pup Oliver Poopsalop the Fifth.
Your popedom. I heard you have a bone to pick with me.
Condoms, Father Flanagan?
No, thank you. I've got plenty.
That's what I mean. Why are you selling condoms?
Oh, you mean our Pharaoh Sombrero line of condoms? Understood.
You know how we feel about those around here.
Well, they're not to be used by the Catholics, of course.
Not for Catholics?
No, they're part of our Sinner Gonna Sin lack of faith outreach program.
Sinner gonna what?
It's like getting the tithe, but from the heretics and the heathens and the atheists.
Oh, well, when you put it like that.
But, Your Highness, this will reflect very poorly on the church.
True. You know what this means, Flanagan?
Warning label. A warning label on the box. Not for Catholics in big letters.
Too subtle.
Instant purgatory if used by Catholics.
I like it. Divine branding.
Excellent, your popedom. Would there be anything else?
That will be all. You may leave.
Thank you for subscribing. We just had a new subscriber there. Thank you for that. Have a wonderful day, guys. I very much appreciate your time. We will see you tomorrow. I don't know what we're going to be talking about tomorrow because, the world changes a lot. But I'll see you tomorrow. Sin safely, my friends. Take care.
Got a house that smells like old cheese and shame. Father Flanagan's flesh candles change the game. Goat-scented thrills for your soul's delight. Light it up, baby, make your room right. When you've sinned and need to atone, light a candle and avoid the stone. Smell the goat in a holy zone. Father Flanagan, here to set the tone. Confession booth, busy, no need to stress. Light a candle and forget your mess. Gross odors vanish like sins in the wind. With each wick, guess who's your new best friend? When you've sinned and need to atone, light a candle and avoid the stone. Smell the goat in a holy zone. the tone. Lambs and calves may have their day, but goats the scent that leads the way. Clean your slate with a sniff so pure. Father Flanagan's got the cure. Turn your home into a saintly space. With every whiff, find redeeming grace. From your living room to the kitchen sink, light the gold candle, don't even think.